Michel knows that 99% of the population of the planet will be mad at him for not allowing free speech on his platform, but he is ready to take on the attacks that will come from the users. Total freedom does not exist, it is an illusion. Imagine a crazy driver who believes he is free to drive at 100 miles per hour in a school zone. Yes, he is free to do so, but because the children need to be protected, he will be stopped by the community. It is the same with speech. You are free to insult everyone you do not agree with, but self-control is idle.
If I'm going to build a website which only empowers positive content, then yes, users are going to condemn me for making a move against free speech. I'm going to be attacked, I'm going to be a traitor. But don't freak out, people. Even if I create a platform for positive content, Twitter is not going to go away, and other platforms is not going to go away, and people are going to start continue posting negative content there. And if people still want to, go nuts on those sites, they'll be able to do it. My site's not going to affect that, so I'm not going to affect that type of free speech there. If my staff is ordered to delete everything nihilistic when 99% of what is posted is deemed to be, then obviously users are not going to be free to express whatever they want on my platform. That's not necessarily an attack on free speech. It's an attack on free speech on my platform because, like I said, I want only positive content. So I don't want nobody posting, like the N word on my site. That's got to stop, right? It's not gonna change anything, and it's not gonna help anything to post that kind of content. I never really believed in free speech anyway because I saw people use it to destroy my older brother. And in my long video, the first video I explained the story of my brother Roger. So I'm going to repeat it here, in a short video. Basically, it's my brother had a serious case of acne, and people would make fun of him all the time. And it was a seriously bad case of acne, So he locked himself in his room, stopped eating, and almost died because, he didn't want to eat no more. So when you don't eat, you die. And if my father wouldn't have contacted the judge and, to sign a paper that the police can come and get him and force him into treatment, my brother would have died. And this is basically because, of course, his case of acne did not help, but people making fun of him all the time is pretty freaking cruel there, okay? So I didn't like that, and I told people who did that if you don't stop, I'm going to rip your head off. And I would have, and I did jump on a lot of people. So my brother never really recovered from this humiliation, from this trauma, and he's still into treatment today. He's in New Brunswick, in Moncton, New Brunswick, in a home for people who suffer from mental disorders. Of course, this did not only happen to my brother here. As I was growing up, everybody was making fun of everybody. And I can say that hearing people making fun of everybody did affect my own sanity. And I did become an alcoholic, and I think I became insane myself, and I'm only starting to pull myself back together. So do I believe in free speech? Well, if you listen to what I just said above, it's yes and no. We need free speech to solve political issues. That's for sure, but not to degrade each other. I mean, let's say we're 10 families living in a huge mansion and the roof is leaking. What good will it do if everybody say, "Hey, you asshole, and you fatso, and you strawberry face there"? That's not going to stop the roof from leaking. Okay, so we got to get together. We got to figure out a plan, and we got to fix the roof. Everything useless is not important. Right now, there's more debasement than debating. So there's going to be there's not when I wrote this, I said there's going to be a government crackdown. Well, there's not going to be a government crackdown. There is a government crackdown right away on all major platforms, and they want to arrest Elon Musk there. So can my site offer a compromise? Well, I think first I have to read you the definition of a compromise, because people use words, but they don't really. I don't think they really know what words mean sometimes. Like in politics, they use left and right, but I invented my own definition of left and right, which I'll talk about that on my other YouTube channel. This one is going to be only for the project. So, a compromise is an agreement or a settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concessions. An ability to listen to two sides in a dispute and devise a compromise acceptable to both. So, how will my site offer a compromise? This, I'm not going to go into detail right now, because this is going to be pretty complicated for people who don't know how websites are created. But I think that the solution to this problem is going to be creating a site using subdomains. I have a paper here, and I'll talk about subdomains, subdomain in another short video. In this sea of influencers, there's a lot of influencers on the web right now, but there's only a few competent ones. And I think that the problem right now, if government is in a trap, if government wants to wipe out social media or censor completely people, like censor every influencer, then we're going to lose the best ones. And my strategy here, I'm going to use subdomain as levels of censorship. But I have a plan to keep the good ones. So, like I said, there's going to be other videos that's going to explain this. But everybody's going to have to work together on this, because I don't think the government is going to be able to censor everybody anyway. And that's also going to be explained in another short video, because every time the government makes a move, the masses makes a move. Like we kind of saw this during the Vietnam War, like they were trying to stop people from protesting, but in the end, the people wanted the war to stop. So if you go to empower.world right now, empower.world right now, you will see in my right sidebar some of the top influencers. There's more, but I just what you see at empower.world right now is not going to be the main site. This is going to be transferred to subdomains. It's going to be the second page. Eyeballs are going to have to to click on the link to go to what you see right now on empower.world. So they're going to have to search for what they want to see. But the first page is going to be me feeding the users what they want to see. These main influencers, if they're on my platform, like I want to give them their own space. I can give them their own YouTube channel on a subdomain. But if I do that, they would still have to censor themselves to a certain degree, but only to a certain degree. You know, I'll say, I will explain, I will work this out in another short video also. That's why I talked about compromise, you know. Government and influencers are going to have to work together.